challenge. And this is no different, at least because we travel back in time to 1951 when the Blues last beat Leeds here at Elland Road. Slightly better conditions from the West Ham game. Another win from last weekend. No swirling winds, just a bit of damp really. Perfect for the surroundings of a Humdinger for Premiership encounter this afternoon. David Moyes leading his troops into this one with one or two neutrals looking enviously at the work he's ploughing his way through at Goodison Park these days. Let's not forget the win over Arsenal and the Rooney Mania that seems to have swept the land, and since then there's a certain man happy waiting in the wings. Well, David Moyes has kept faith with the side that ground out that win over West Ham last weekend. It means skipper Davy Weir has to settle for a place on the bench after returning from suspension. Wayne Rooney too will sit this one out. Terry Venables has shuffled his pack, as we can see there. They won 1-0 in the UEFA Cup in midweek over Hapoel Tel Aviv. 3 changes in all. Teddy Lukic comes in for Ian Hart at left back. Lee Bowyer returns after his bout of flu. Of all the expense of the injured Oliver Decour. Of course, a couple of Evertonians might have been too interested in seeing this weekend. Danny Mills replaces Gary Kelly as well at right back. And this man has to sit it out again, and it seems as though the cameras will focus on him. David Moyes had a little go at the media after the West Ham game. It was a live game on the TV, and of course the cameras were focusing on him getting off the bus and sat there on the bench as he is now. But I suppose the headlines come with the status of Wayne Rooney now. And important to see as a young 16-year-old that he can enjoy the banter as well. Don't need me to tell you how important the Arsenal game was, not least because it introduced him to the neutral. They didn't already know. And here's another player who'll know exactly how he feels. At least the same hairstyle as Wayne Rooney, of course, but he started off as a player that was touted for massive things, and he's still got a bit of youth on his side as well. And we'll be hoping that, of course, he can provide that bit of talent, that bit of drive to this game this afternoon, and show the young pretender Rooney on how it's done. Our referee this afternoon is Neil Barry, incidentally, as well, and he's not too slow in coming forward with his cards this season. He's actually booked 29 players and sent 3 off. Maybe we've got a sign of things to come at least, as the 2 captains get the formalities out of the way in the centre of the field. And while we're talking about the youthful exuberance of certain players, let's not forget the win over Arsenal and that Rooney Mania we were talking about before. The big Scottish manager has escaped a few headlines though, hasn't he? He's put a protective arm around his young sensation. Another relative youngster in his field has not really courted too many headlines as yet, despite his young age at the trade that he's taking part in. Terry Venables knows all about him though, and he'll have certainly had his players well versed in the lead up to this one. How the agile, tireless, play-to-win attitude of Everton has really shocked so many people this season, and I wonder if it shocked David Moyes. He would crack on that it hasn't, but I'm sure he's been pleasantly surprised in how they've taken on the likes of Arsenal and also ground out results. The one we seen last week at West Ham as the opening first couple of minutes of this game get underway. Harry Kewell on the left-hand side for Leeds. We all know what he can do with his left foot. He just loses out. Tony Hibbert gets the chance to clear upfield looking for the tie. It's a good ball towards Kewell. Kewell got the goal in midweek, of course, against Hapoel Tel Aviv. That sets them up for the second leg quite nicely. But of course, they'll be taking nothing for granted. Lucas Radaby there as well, who's just coming back into the four for Leeds United. Terry Venables has taken a leaf out of David Moyes' book in terms of the winning habit he's been talking about, the one he wants to breed into his side. And Danny Mills here, who's forged himself an international career, will be part and parcel of everything that Venables is trying to build. They are on the back of some mixed fortune leads, of course, and a midweek win there in the UEFA Cup does set them up quite nicely. Lee Carsley, another player that's forged his way back into the plans of David Moyes, and the challenge comes in from Teddy Lukic on the left-hand side. He's forged his way back into the plans of Terry Venables for today. It wasn't a foregone conclusion. I suppose it's a signal of how far Leeds have come in terms of a squad game and he can keep Ian Hart out of the side. It's a corner for Everton with just over a minute on the clock. Well, actually, it's been put down for a free kick on that far right-hand side as we look at it from up here. It's real danger. It's always signal real danger on the set pieces now, Everton. As Pembridge spots it up again. Pembridge, of course, might miss the Blackburn game in a couple of weeks' time, around 3 weeks away. He's been called up by Wales and they've invoked the 4-day rule as he gets the ball in, and it's a dangerous one, and it had to be tipped over by Paul Robinson. But he fancies them from distance these days, Mark Pembridge, and Robinson certainly had to be on his toes there. The ball whipped in with pace and drive, and it was an important fingertip, that. Two arms go up. The corner comes in towards that front post. Attacked away by Eric Bakker, though. Eric Bakker just clears up to the halfway line. Tony Hibbert was forward and the pass wasn't particularly good. Richard Wright will get the chance to kick long. Two goalkeepers, of course, that Sven will be keeping a close eye on today. Maybe not for the get-together that he has planned at the end of November, but possibly as a long-term solution. And Terry Venables will know all about planning for the future in an international arena. Paul Robinson and Richard Wright have certainly been talked about in that kind of arena already. And ones for the future. David Seaman was spoken about in terms of players that might get replaced as the ball's hat long and the offside flag goes up. Well, both have played 11 games this season. Everton have outshone their Yorkshire opponents by just 1 goal this season. They do boast a slightly meaner defence, though, so let's not hope it's cancelling each other out in a high-scoring game. Today is off the cards, one for the neutrals, of course, and Everton will be hoping to make their defence slightly meaner than it has been in the past. It's a ball forward for Harry Kewell. Bit of danger now for Everton. On the left-hand side has options from Smith, but a good block challenge in there on Harry Kewell. It will certainly be the tactic to close him down as early as they can. We'll know what he can do from the set pieces. Terry Venables will be pleased with the opening couple of chances that have gone Leeds' way, but Everton have certainly shut the door in their faces on a few occasions when they have come forward. Lee Bowyer back in the side today after some influenza. He's going to try the cross in towards that penalty spot. Good punch out from Richard Wright as well, and Mark Pembridge just trying to clean up the pieces for Everton on the edge of his own penalty area, and it's a little battle going on between him and Kewell there, and Mills comes through as well. Ainsworth takes the dive on his team's course. I suppose there would have been many neutrals that come this way and would say that Everton might have won the 50-50s and those kind of things, but Everton is certainly a new sensation now, a sensation that the neutral will be all too aware of as the kick comes along from Richard Wright, looking for the ever-willing Kevin Campbell, headed away on the edge of his own penalty area in there, and Leeds come away with things just ever so slightly as the ball is hit forward towards Smith again. Unsworth back to Joseph Yobo and the young sensation, and it's not Wayne Rooney, it's Joseph Yobo, gets the ball clear for the Blues. Unsworth from Alan Smith, and we all know about his discipline and his tennis elbow in a way. Unsworth certainly made the most of it, and Alan Smith is penalised for that one. Blues fans may remember too the last time these two sides met at Ellen Road, and it was a particularly important day for one Robbie Fowler, who got his first goals for the club after that shock move from Liverpool, one that really did shock the neutral, shocked the world in fact, as the ball comes through and Robinson comes out to claim for Leeds. It shocked Merseyside, and I'm sure it shocked many Evertonians the way he made the move, and I'm sure there was a couple of eyebrows were raised as well once they seen the fixture calendar would be soon after visit to Ellen Road, and a certain Robbie Fowler. Not involved, of course, Robbie Fowler at the moment. He's out injured, and that will have brought a wry smile, of course, from a few Everton fans. He did do well against the Blues in a red shirt. The ball goes all the way back to Richard Wright, bowls it out to Hibbert on his right-hand side. Everton have done okay. They've been backs to the walls on a few occasions down that left-hand side, but building going forward and been quite tidy in possession so far. Thomas Radzinski wanted to try the the quick throw, but Carsley come across and took it off him. Radzynski takes up a more offensive position now, slows things down in Leeds' favour a little bit. It's on the right-hand side again, into Lee Ty's feet. Lee Ty missed the consistency this season. Into Linderoth, and Linderoth in for Thomas Gravesen. Still a bit of fluid on his knee, we're told, just prior to this one, Thomas Gravesen, so he won't take an active role probably in the next 2 to 3 games. Tobias Linderoth will be all too pleased that he's got the chance to finally come in. A header clear from Unsworth, back up towards Radzynski again. Radzynski takes it neatly on the chest, back to Pembridge on the left-hand side. It's centre to Linderoth again. Linderoth into Radzynski. Good bit of pressure this from Everton. If Carsley can break away with a crossing towards that penalty spot, and the clearance wasn't tidy for Mills, and they were in just a little bit of trouble there. Teddy Lukic was the player who just failed in his task a little bit, the full-back. Everton would have been pushed a little bit more forward. There might have been a bit of danger there for the home side. Woodgate just sees it back to Paul Robinson, and the danger subsides once again. Wonder how glad Everton will be to get these few weeks over with. Big places to come to this, and of course you've got Old Trafford in your wake as well, the game that David Moyes talks about in terms of we should have got more from that. The Arsenal game, which perhaps they wouldn't have thought prior to, or even 5 minutes ago maybe, that they were going to get some points from that, but they did in the end, and that will fill them with confidence. The game with West Ham as well, a tough place to go, West Ham. The pitch ever so slightly wider now, but as we mentioned just coming out before, the conditions were awful, the wind was swirling around, and Everton come to a condition today, and it's an awful challenge going in there from Lee Bowyer. It leaves Carsley in a heap on the floor. Referee eventually lets treatment come on to Carsley, but I think there was a good shout there for a free kick at least. Carsley stinging from that challenge from Lee Bowyer. Let's have a look at this one again. He was just up to the challenge, and Bowyer was particularly late there, caught him very high. He has a reputation that follows him round, but that was a late and quite sting-worthy challenge from Bowyer. Dave Moyes comes out of his technical area to offer some advice to Mark Pembridge. Mark Pembridge has been such a huge part of David Moyes' plans in terms of what he's trying to build at the club, and perhaps was not a player that was all too known to away sides coming here, but he fills in an unfamiliar role for Everton on the sort of left-hand side of midfield. He doubles up so well with Unsworth now, and they've built such a good understanding there that it's not something that David Moyes is all that keen to break up. And he does have options there, don't forget. But Unsworth and his compatriot there on the left-hand side have done particularly well. Carsley looks okay, looks as though he'll be all right to continue. Bowyer just getting a bit of treatment. Perhaps he got a bit of a sting out of that. He didn't anticipate Lee Bowyer, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it, with combative midfield players, that they don't like to show the pain straight away. It's a kick up long from Robinson, which has Everton chasing back again. Yobo comes across and communicates with Wright to the point where he can come out and claim for the blue. Now Everton have sort of got a grasp of his shirt collar, and he has indicated in the last couple of days that this is the place he intends to stay. Long kick up again, backed away by Teddy Lukic into Linderoth. Mark Pembridge just on the box. He might get a chance into Radzynski on the chest, and just hacked away by Mills in the end. But, it was a patient old build-up from Everton, that, and Mills came to the rescue into Linderoth again. Linderoth into Pembridge. Lee Ty on his left foot, might fancy a crack from the edge of the area. Lee Ty just carried out of things by Nicky Barmby. The decision purely goes against the Blues. Lee Ty with a wry smile. Also paid tribute to David Moyes this week, Lee Ty, and it must be so difficult for a player coming in from China. And he's settled well. He says he's having intensive English lessons at the moment, and that will help his settling in process no end. David Moyes is not too happy with the linesman there. Elbow clears, and a free kick given in the end, and just saying there was an arm across him. No messing, no Neil Barry, the Scunthorpe official, and the free kick will go Leeds' way. Viduka may fancy this one. That's a more imposing figure, doesn't he, Terry Venables, when he's not on the TV screens. The anxious for Nick Barmby comes back into the side. I say comes back into the side. He was a doubt prior to this, Nicky Barmby, with a a slight strain, but he does come through from the 3 changes that we mentioned prior to the game. 11 minutes in, Leeds have a chance from a free kick on Harry Kewell's left foot now. Good block from Pembridge. The danger not clear though, just on the edge of the box, but Pembridge comes across and clears the danger for Everton. Does replace David Weir, Alan Stubbs, and keeps his place in the team. David Weir has been called Mr. Consistency time and time again by David Moyes. It is a point to prove really, and a point in case to say that he does keep faith with players that come in and do okay. Tobias Linderoth and Lee Carsley are players in the side that will bear testimony to that. And Stubbs will be pleased that he's had the chance to come in and stay there. As the ball is up in the air once again, it's on the edge of the I was going to say then, but it was on the edge of a certainly full-blooded challenge. It's Harry Kewell again with a chance on his left foot, and it's not far over from Harry Kewell. And I'm sure that would have been a pinpoint of David Moyes' pre-match talk, not to let him get too close to the action, Harry Kewell, not to let him get a sight of goal on that left foot. They did back off him, Hibbert and Carsley, and it was curling. And this will be the best angle to see how far it actually went over, and that's probably a couple of yards further out. It would have caused young Richard Wright a few more problems. Everton try and build straight away. It's a header on, and Radzinski was giving chase there. He's ever so willing now, Thomas Radzinski. David Moyes saying he has to chase him off the training ground this days, which hasn't been the case when he first came to the club. Thomas Radzinski is willing to try things now that he wasn't maybe when David Moyes came in, and that's a key stone to all the confidence that Thomas Radzinski's playing with at the moment. Ball forward looking for Lee Tai, headed back by Eric Bakker to Robinson. Well, he said already, hasn't he, Lee Tai, that very hard to go out in Beijing because of his hero status. That was before his move to the Premiership as well, so you can imagine what it'll be like over there just at present. It's Lee Bowyer on the right-hand side for Leeds. Bit of a crossing opportunity there, turns inside, and inside of Pembridge. With Mills again on the edge of the area with Smith. Stubbs just doing a babysitting job on Smith as the ball comes in towards the back post. Looks dangerous, and good hands from Richard Wright. Doesn't dwell on it, gets it straight out to Lee Carsley on the right hand side for the Blues. Linderoth with the switch point of play to Unsworth. So dangerous on this left hand side. If he can try and get a sight of that left foot. It was a challenge on Campbell, where the referee probably would have played an advantage because it was a zipping challenge from Bakker. Linderoth again. Linderoth looking for the curl ball in around the full back. It was an ambitious one from Tobias Linderoth. By his own admissions, wasn't happy with things as they stood at Everton, Tobias Linderoth, but certainly will be happy with the way things have gone just at present. In the side, and that's where they all want to stay. And David Moyes was speaking about team spirit the other day and said his most pleasing aspect at the moment is the fact that players are not in the squad are going up to the players that are in the team and giving them a pat on the back, and it's all a measure of their unity as another dangerous ball gets threaded into the box from Leeds United. Hibbert just barracking Paducah there. Good throw from him to Harry Kewell again. Harry Kewell on the edge of the penalty area, just a ball in, and also Fiobo does a good enough job. And just a word about the tickets for this one there, just catching a glimpse of Everton fans just behind the goal. I can tell you that the demand for tickets far exceeded the actual supply of them, and the demand to see Everton on the road, both at grounds in the south and grounds up north. This is only just down the road, of course, for Everton fans, but as I say, the demand for tickets was absolutely phenomenal prior to this one. The halfway line from Bakker. It was a tough challenge from Pembridge on Bowyer. Bowyer's up moaning at the referee, but he doesn't get the decision. Richard Wright. All the way back with him, eager to impress, and another player that's absolutely brimming with confidence at the moment. Good header on from Campbell, looking for Radzinski again, but it just evaded him, Thomas Radzinski. But a messy pass from Bowyer. Lee Tai comes across, tries to build something again for Everton. A tough challenge coming in on Pembridge, and then again from Lee Bowyer is full of argument there, really, but the free kick goes against him either way. Pembridge didn't make a big deal of it, but Lee Bowyer is certainly in the referee's eye line at the moment, and that was a tough challenge on Pembridge. The second one looked a bit worse, actually, but the decision came prior to that second foul. Barry does resist the temptation, though, to put his hand in his pocket as the cross comes across from Carsley, headed away by Lukic. Smith picks up possession on the edge of his own penalty area. Ball goes long for Mills again, hacked away by David Unsworth, and Everton just staving off any pressure that comes on the edge of the box. David Moyes pleased with the way that was defended, percentages, and don't forget that David Moyes was no holds barred centre half at one time in his career as well, and it wasn't all that too long ago. We only talk about 3 or 4 years when he was last playing at Preston North End, David Moyes, and he still takes a full part in training. This man doesn't anymore, of course, but he's there on the training ground, got very strong ideas about coaching, and I'm sure that David Moyes and Terry Venables, if not prior to this one, will share maybe a drink or two afterwards, discussing and putting the soccer world to rights. For Mills again, looking for the head of Nicky Barmby. Smith was just a yard or two off the pace though, and Everton get the chance to clear. A bit of play there from Teddy Lukic, but he gets in a bit of a tangle, and Lee Time might get the chance now to put the ball to the right hand side. Radzinski made with the shooting chance. He goes by Radaby, and just 2 or 3 yards too far, really, because Radaby still adjusting to the pace back in the Premiership for a long period out of the game, but Radzinski couldn't outfox him there. Great bit of skill on the edge of the box as the ball goes forward from Viduka. Easily played in by Hibbert as the ball looking forward. Although you get a chance to something for Leeds. Possession breaks up for them though. Stubbs over to the right hand side looking for Thomas Radzinski. Linderoth has certainly put himself about in these first couple of minutes, and that will please David Moyes. Certainly what he's asked his players to do, and he won't come in as a direct replacement for Tommy Gravesen, but he'll certainly come with all the endeavour that he can. As we spoke about before, he may not be the automatic choice, but it's how you coax your way into the plans, how you show willing and play to the job you've been asked to do. And the header on looking for Radzinski again, but Robinson was quick off his line. Said to him after the Arsenal game that he played like a bit of a midfield terrier, Thomas Radzinski, and he's playing a different role than he did last year as Teddy Lukic brings the ball forward down Leeds' left hand side, back to Backer into Smith's feet. Good little turn from Smith. Might get a shooting chance here on his right foot against the backside of David Unsworth. Good blocking from him. Danger not clear though. Mills into the danger zone again. It's Bowyer. Love him or hate him, he's always involved, isn't he? Edge of the penalty area, edge of his own penalty area on the touch lines, and it nearly became a Liverpool play, which have endeared him to Everton fans even more in the summer. Keel into Backer again. Backer's ball forward for Viduka. Bit of a challenge on the edge of the box for Hibbert to get out of. A very strong player, Viduka, and he does well just to hold him off. Going inside to Lee Bowyer now. Lee Bowyer just on the edge of a shooting chance. Full defending from Alan Stubbs. And Pembridge might get a chance on the counter now if he gets Radzinski away. Radzinski's ball back to David Unsworth. Unsworth ball's forwards good, but a catch. Mark Pembridge possibly just had the legs and a yard or 3 on him there. Fullback. An attack clear from Robinson. Robinson's ball forward. Stubbs. He's had a tough old career, hasn't he, Alan Stubbs? But he's bounced back, and rejected him as a youngster, have taken him back with open arms. Ball forward again, looking for the run of Harry Kewell. Harry Kewell's cross in. That's the diff of Stubbs out for a corner. These present real danger for Leeds. On the edge of his own penalty area, and Stubbs keeping a close eye on the Norwegian, Eric Backer. Going towards that front post again. Up go the heads and away by Everton. Back in there into the danger zone. Alan Smith maybe used a hand there. The claim was certainly that he had done. Back in. Bowyer heads on towards Barmby again. Barmby exchanges passes with Bowyer. Crossing chance now. Danger at the back post maybe. You could see Keel coming in from a couple of yards out, but brilliant interception by David Unsworth. Across there. So very well, David Unsworth. See, the back post was always going to be the option as Keel came racing in. He had to make the header, didn't he, David Unsworth? Mr. Everton gets it clear. Corner for Leeds. And the back post is going to be the option again. Big header coming in, and it was a free header from Jonathan Woodgate. Straight at Richard Wright, but the marking was a bit slack there. Pembridge over towards Kazi now. Can Kazi make the cross? Does do. Good blocking challenge though from Lukic coming across at left back. It's swung to and fro, hasn't it? We were only sort of 22 minutes into the game, and certainly each team could have got it. Maybe Leeds have created the better of the chances, but Everton have dealt with most that's come their way. They broke quite quick on the counter-attack, the Blues, and that'll be the way the game will have to go if they're going to get a result. Pembridge takes the corner. Back post this time. Cross comes in. There's a bit of a puzzle, and Stubbs may still get a chance at a shot in. Good save, and there's play is stopped. I think for it, maybe the ball had gone out of play on that left-hand side. Leeds have to regroup because it's a corner to the Blues. Becker looks like a man with a guilty face. That was possibly him that came across and saved the day. It's Carsley who'll come and take the corner for Everton. Short one. Pembridge on his left foot off the backside of a defender. It comes out to Linderoth. There might fancy the shooting opportunity. Chips the ball in though. Lee Tye with a chance on his left foot, and he was too slow. He was too slow as Smith came across and got the challenge in. It looked as though Lee Tye was almost trying to pick which corner of the net he wanted to poke it into. But a little bit of naivety there. Smith came across, got a great challenge in. And Lee Tye just took 2 or 3 seconds too long. Well, again from Carsley. Go towards the back post this time. Header on the back with Stubbs, and it's a partial clearance, but still in danger here. Great touch from Radzinski, and Radzinski's shot was towards the hands of Robinson, towards that near post. He knows Radzinski's about, doesn't he? Couldn't get it clear, Leeds, to save their lives. It was on his left foot, maybe not his first choice, but Robinson had the momentum and one was going in the right way. Had to make a smart save. So after a period of pressure there where Leeds were clearly on top, Paul Robinson keeps his side in the game. Shot from Radzinski, edge of the box, towards the mid part of this first half now as Leeds build again. It's counter-attacking sometimes at its best. Lee Mills with the chance. Such a promising summer, despite the claims of some people that he wasn't going to be up to scratch. He certainly endeared himself into the squad and probably keep his place as well for a fair while. As a bit of a challenge there between Woodgate and Campbell, both get to their feet, no decision given, headed away by Stubbs. Tidily there towards Unsworth. Unsworth into the feet of Linderoth. Linderoth to Unsworth again, who couldn't really get the clearance in because it was slightly probably more than he expected to get the pass back. Out wide to Lukic now. Lukic, the ball down that left-hand side. It was probably a little bit too much to ask of Viduka though. Here and a good little ball into Thomas Radzinski. Clear shooting chance for him. Good save by Robinson. Well, he just let it roll across his left foot, Thomas Radzinski. And when he's got a sight of goal, you always fancy him to put it away. But that time it was Robinson who smartly saved. Clear. Danger for Leeds still though, headed away in the corner for the Blues, and a sustained spell of pressure here. can see Robinson's frustrated. He was really, with his back against the wall there, done all he can to keep Leeds in the game. Ledzinski's had a fair old last 10 minutes, hasn't he? Pembridge's corner in towards that back post again, onto the head of a defender, and the decision is given against the Blues. Robinson won the first battle, of course, in pre-season when Nigel Martin was the goalkeeper who chose not to go on a pre-season tour, and it cost him dear because it cost him the starting place in the side. And Robinson's come in and stayed there to his credit. Nigel Martin may have been talked about as a successor to David Seaman in the short term, but Sven's got a job on his hands to pick a younger one, and a bit of danger here for Everton. Smith on his right foot, and there was big claims from Leeds just in around that penalty area that Smith was caught. Not too sure what old Kiddo and Terry Venables were thinking there, but we've seen them given. Left-footed cross from Lee Bowyer, headed away by Alan Stubbs. And Campbell helping out just a slightly unfamiliar left midfield spot. And goes up from Kevin Campbell. Not happy, is he, Alan Smith? Strong challenge from Alan Stubbs, and again he loses out against the referee Neil Barry, and he's not happy, is he? Like a fair enough challenge from Alan Stubbs on Smith, and Smith just has a word in his shell, like on the way back, as if to say, I was probably a little bit lucky to get the decision there. Leeds have a free kick in a dangerous zone when you look at the likes of the players stood round it. I think it's Bowyer who fancies it most, though. Maybe not set up best for a left footer. Be just in front of it, maybe a crossing position for Bowyer, but got some curl on it as well. I think by the position of the wall it is a crossing position for Bowyer. It is looking for the penalty spot, headed away. It's Kula gets the shot in, and a deflection, and Barmby was almost in as the Everton players look for an offside flag. Oh, he'd love to score against his old club, Nicky Barmby. There's not many Everton fans in and around the city now with Nicky Barmby shirts on. Didn't endear himself towards the Edison Park faithful when he made the move across Stanley Park, but to make a few career moves, Nicky Barmby, just to get first team football. And there's the applause, and there's the man who is all too accustomed to applause behind him. It's from the Leeds fans, of course, and it's not for Wayne Rooney, but he looks on, and we look on to think, I wonder if he's going to make it as a player. You would like to say it's worth a couple of quid, that. With Everton's way, a foul by Eric Backer on Pembridge. When we talk about youth, and David Moyes has outlined his objectives in this week's AGM when he said that the youth of the team and the exuberance of the likes of Wayne Rooney was going to be key to everything he tries to build. He's not just looking for a short-term option, David Moyes. He wants the point where he can have a player and keep him for as long as the club can financially keep hold of them. Although Everton have made a profit this year, it was done with Franny Jeffers and Michael Ballsailers. So Everton take the free kick towards the head of Campbell, and run forward from it was Cambridge in the end. David Batty, well, he's a player that's fallen out with the management here. 15 minutes, as you can see there, remaining in this first half. Batty offered a coaching role this week, but apparently he's turned it down for a chance to continue his playing career. Certainly looking towards the youth really these days, and it's really funny to see the likes of these players when we've seen a TV series not too long ago, didn't we, about the likes of Alan Smith and Franny Jeffers, how they grew up and got a position now where Wayne Rooney could be the future of the England setup. Alan Smith, good little turnaround lead tie, good ball forward as well, and it's a good little run from Nicky Barmby. He's in with a chance. Wright comes out well, and there's a big claim there. And Richard Wright came all the way rushing out, and it's a yellow card, and it looks like it has been given the penalty. We didn't hear a clear whistle. What's happened here? Nicky Barmby apparently has been booked for that, and I can only think that Nicky Barmby was looking for it. We didn't hear a clear whistle. As the ball came forward and Barmby was rushing on, it was a formality. Wright came across, and it was almost as though Barmby couldn't get out of the way. A smile on his face and a yellow card to boot. Certainly not the outcome that maybe we expected from that one. Barry brandishes another yellow card, and Terry Venables' fury is clear for all to see. Side, strong challenge comes in for a kick given, quickly taken by Leeds up towards Barmby again. Barmby's pass was poor though, but Lukic keeps it in. Time from Viduka. Right-hand side now, a bit of space for him to run into in that right back spot. Cross comes in, and the side of Mark Pembridge, run for Leeds' corner, and possibly signals a bit of danger for the Blues here. Mills' run forward wasn't checked. Arguments still coming about the decision given against Nick Barmby. It is that takes the free kick again towards the back post, the head of Eric Bakker. Woodgate, in fact. Nearly tipped the top of his head. A mile over. Roy Aitken, the former Celtic legend there. Good word with Terry Venables. He's assembled a fair old backbone squad, hasn't he, Terry Venables, in his short time here. Aitken, of course, still with David O'Leary. Full-time book, seemingly putting an end to his time with Leeds United. Forward from Lucas Radaby. Pembridge, a decent ball forward, and Kevin Campbell comes to help out in the engine room. It's Radzinski left-hand side. He's got a few options as he goes towards the back post where Carsley was coming in, but it seems as though the decision goes against their time. It could be an offside flag or a foul on the edge of the box. The options were slightly cut by the fact that Everton had pulled everybody up to the left-hand side. Lucas slips. Lindelof can't get the challenge in, ball forward, and Smith's possession control, should I say, was far from perfect. This ball forward on the left-hand side. Good header on from Campbell now. Radzinski is forward again, and he's causing Woodgate all kinds of problems onto the right foot as it presented itself maybe for Campbell. Towards the back post where Carsley's waiting on his right foot. Carsley! Good save from Robinson again. Well, that's really probably the best chance of the game so far, and it's gone Everton's way. A great left-handed save. Sitting up for Campbell, but a great ball from Radzinski. Radzinski, the playmaker. Such a strong shot coming in, and Robinson managed to get the strong hands behind that. A fair old effort from Lee Carsley. And to add to his single goal that he scored last week against West Ham. Coming in from Pembridge again, and it's into the near post. It had a bit of curl on it. A loud sigh from Paul Robinson there. It's funny when you look at Pembridge, he plays almost as an anchorman type forward sweeper for the Welsh squad. As we spoke about before, his involvement with the Welsh squad is probably going to rule him out of the Blackburn game. Those want to call him up 4 days before the clash with Azerbaijan. David Moyes indicated he will speak to Marquise again over that, the former Everton player, insisting on all his players being there for the preparation ahead of that game. Moyes insisting the Kenny Dalglish tactic was used there of backing into his player. He was rooted to the spot as the ball comes forward from Pembridge, and Woodgate will get a chance to roll it all the way back to Robinson. Radzinski's certainly been the thorn in the side, hasn't he, so far, as the ball's hacked clear again from Robinson up towards Mark Viduka and Harry Kewell. Ball came across, cleaned up. On the edge of the penalty area as Bowyer comes across. Great challenge from David Unsworth. Carsley completes the clearance for the Blues. Danger maybe on the counter. Leeds can get the ball out left side if Unsworth can keep that ball in play. Does so, and a good little pass forward as well towards Pembridge if he can build something here. Just shoved off the ball by Mills. Unsworth done well to keep it in. His long throw towards Campbell again. Bit of climbing maybe from Woodgate. No decision going to be given there though, as Leeds have a chance to build from their own penalty area. Off the backside of Linderoth though, and peg back just a couple of yards Leeds. Another for the half-time chat there from Alan Irvine. Whistle goes again, maybe for a foul on or by David Unsworth. Been a few decisions by Neil Barry. Mills towards the edge of the box. It was a good challenge in the end from Carsley. Just forces Kewell out of the danger zone into Eric Bakker. Woodgate's ball forward, stabbed away by maybe Radzinski all the way back there. Hard to make him out from here. Just go for the Leeds throw though. Bowyer, the black gloves of Bowyer. And good block challenge from Pembridge. An interesting old battle, isn't it, in the midfield, and well, you've certainly not come out on top as yet. A few anxious looks as Mills prepares to take the throw. The Leeds, it's all the rage, the long throw now. He takes a full 4 or 5 steps back, and it's a long throw into the box, headed away by David Unsworth. Cambridge completes the long clearance, and Radzinski now, what can he do? His control had to be a little bit better than that. Radzinski. Lukic was just eating at the remainders there, as Radzinski maybe could have been away. His control was good. He had to still beat 2 defenders, but his pace is so worrying for any centre-back. He'd maybe had a few quid on him. Radaby. Good ball out to the left to Kewell. Kewell's been quiet, hasn't he, the last couple of minutes, and this is the real run that he's so familiar with. Bowyer tried to play the 1-2, was closed out of it though, and Everton 2-on-1 there. They're both doubling up, and possession for Leeds subsides. 5 minutes remain in this first half, still goalless here. And there might be a few raised eyebrows too when people are switching on the CFAX and seeing that the goal, or the game, is still goalless. Campbell just comes across the wrong side of the halfway line and just chips a little pass out with the outside of his right foot to Carsley. Carsley, a good chance on the overlap if Hibbert can wait it. It was a bit strong, the pass in the end, but Hibbert does make it and chips the ball into the back post. Lee Ty was waiting there, wasn't strong enough really. Pembridge across the back, and the move was just really curtailed by a poor ball in the end. Carsley was coming across, but managed to get in the interception. It's attack that subsides. Tie forward to Pembridge again. Pembridge into Campbell. Campbell to Lee Carsley. Lee Carsley just bereft of any options there. Come across and helped out by Hibbert. Good challenge coming in from Lukic. Been very impressive in this first half, Teddy Lukic. Challenge. Radzinski that will get the yellow card for Lukic, and Rathbone will have to come on and treat Radzinski here. Another chance to look at it again, but it was a wrap on the shins for Radzinski. A neat turn. Maybe on the toes of Radzinski. Perhaps the first round a little bit worse than it actually was in the end. The free kick goes Everton's way anyway. Let's just hope Radzinski can continue. Not too bad a challenge in the end, but gold out there today. Looks, grimace on the face. Come on, causing him a few problems. Get back up there. 9 minutes tick away in this first half, and Everton have more than held their own. You can often see a game away from home where, as we've mentioned already, backs are against the walls. A free kick comes in from Pembridge. They have created the odd occasion, and Thomas Radzinski more often than not been on the end of it. So Pembridge shake of the head, acknowledges quite a poor free kick. Tomlinson kicks long. I wonder if there'll be a chance for a goal before the break, as another decision goes against Alan Stubbs in the challenge with Alan Smith. An interesting battle between the two. Chip ball in from Mills, headed away by Lee Tai, helping his defenders out. Shooting chance for Kuehl, maybe for Mills now on the edge of the box, cleared by Carsley though. Stubbs his head clear. This time clearance from Woodgate though, helped out in the end by Radaby. Lukic again for Leeds, out to Kuehl. Kuehl maybe with a shooting chance and a crossing chance, should I say. Hibbert comes across and curtails that threat. Kuehl with a challenge that will warm the cockles, no doubt. He grimaces as he gets back to his feet. One wide across the shin pad. Wouldn't have hurt him too much though. Back to his feet, and a bit of danger maybe signalled from the free kick here. You're told to bring it back a couple of yards, and I wonder who will be more happy out of the two at the break. Everton have certainly had their chances, as of Leeds. Maybe Leeds just edging things in terms of the possession as the cross comes in from Bowyer, headed clear by Lee Carsley. Maybe a chance for a last counter ball forward from Lee Tai. Might be a little bit too much to ask for Radzinski in the end, but no, his pace has got him there, and Lukic is out of position. Maybe a crossing chance here towards the back post, and you can forgive him for that. A little rueful look at the turf, Thomas Radzinski. Would have been a perfect time to score. Signalling to his players there, David Moyes, that there's 2 minutes remaining of normal time. The Minutes on the clock signalled by the fourth official. Everton just trying to clear a bit more danger and go into the break. Stay in the contest. Leeds will probably be a little bit upset they've not gained the lead, but they'll be slightly fortunate when you think about the chances that Everton have had. 3 on goal and real chances have gone against them. Ball back into the box towards the head of Smith, just on the edge of things. Clearance by Hibbert. Hibbert's ball into feet of Leeds, but he loses out. Foul on Leeds, free kick to Everton. One of the things that David Moyes has said about Leeds is that he needs to maybe strengthen up a bit in the challenge. He's sat in a defensive midfield role most of the time, but sometimes when the challenges are raining in, Leeds never hides from them, don't get me wrong, but he can be slightly stronger as the half-time whistle goes, and it's a decent old performance from the Blues. Maybe, as I said before, Radzinski will be looking at the chances he's missed, but Paul Robinson has been such an important member of Leeds' side in this first half, and he's kept them in it with 2 brilliant saves. Nicky Barmby booked for an incident there where he maybe had a good claim for a penalty when Richard Wright came across him. But the opinion that counts was the referees in the end, and we end the first half goalless.